Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Ketchup Chaos. I did say I was going to try and get this one done at some point this week, and this is that point in the week. So yeah, I've only got about 5 albums. This one isn't really going to take too long, depending on how long I wind up rambling for. So I might as well just get to it, you know? No point in wasting any more time. Let's go. So first we start with Benediction with the album Scriptures. This one came out in October. In fact, about 3 of these albums came out in October. So Benediction is a British metal band, a death metal band, who've been around for over 30 years, and I'm surprised I haven't really heard a lot about them before, because this is a really good album. I'm giving this one a B+. I just in a year where I've heard a lot of metal bands try to overcomplicate things and I say this about Justice for the Damned, about their new album as well. That album's really good because they kept it simple. This album is really good because for the most part Benediction does keep it simple. You know, it's just in your face, really good, just awesome metal. You know, you just really feel it. It's just brutal and fun, and it's actually produced well. So yeah, I wouldn't expect anything less from a band who's been around for 30 years, but it's nice to hear a band who's been around for that long still knock out something like this. So I have to give them credit for that. Next is The Classic Crime with Patterns in the Static. Now, The Classic Crime are a band I've been familiar with for a long time, but I've never listened to a full album by them. And I feel like this was not the best start. This one came out in February, and I don't know, a lot of people were sort of jarred by the sort of shift in sound that this one had. I'm only giving it a C, mostly because I don't want to give it anything too low, because I've never listened to another album by them. I might have heard 1 or 2 songs, but I can't give anything too high at the same time because it's the only album I've heard by them. Yeah, I know I don't really make that excuse for debuting bands that I review a lot, but that's because that's their debut, you know, and depending on how good that debut is the grade I'll give it usually, as we're going to get to in a little bit. But yeah, for this one, I just wasn't feeling it as much as I feel like I should have. It does have some decent moments to it, but it's lost in a lot of really botched production. Next is Echo with the D2 or the D2 or. This one came out in July, and this is a rap album. I'm doing a lot more of those these days, and I'm happy about it. So Echo I first heard about on the newest Crypt. Cypher is Volume 3 one. I was going to say his new one is the Cookout one, and Echo wasn't on that. Which is a shame, because Echo, it's really good, and this album is really good, so I'm giving this one an A. Yeah, the dude, he completely subverted my expectations, because so much rap I've heard lately, I was going to say so much of it. So much of it can be focused on... I just said so much of it again. It can be focused too much on the flexing, and how much money they have, and so on. But a lot of what Echo wrote actually focused a lot on his mental health issues, and his relationships, and his family life, and abuse, and yeah, there was a lot of stuff lyrically that just hit me really hard, and he performed it really well too. He just had a lot of heart to him. There's some really great guest appearances as well. Yeah, I think an A is just really great for that. Oh, and the production is... the production on this is amazing. But yeah, if you can find time for an album that is quite long, admittedly, I think that might be the only detriment to it. It's well worth sitting through, though. The Detour, really good. Speaking of rap, kind of, Ghostemane with Anti-Icon, another one that came out in October. Now, Ghostemane is another artist I've been familiar with because a friend of mine named Graves actually listened to his music quite a lot. And Ghostemane is he's not your typical rapper. He screams a lot. He's sort of like a trap, rap metal sort of guy, you know? He has very emo and punk influences in his music. And it can be a bit jarring and creepy, but still no less good than the original, at least. So I'm giving this one a B. I actually liked a lot more of it than I thought I would. I feel like a lot of it was just filling a bit of empty space, which is why I'm not giving it a higher grade, but considering it's my first Ghostemane album, I am looking forward to listening to more of his stuff. I thought this was a really good starting point for me, and I thought this was just a pretty good album, you know? He's got some good lyrical content to him, and good guest spots, and yeah, the dude can scream. He can actually scream really well, which you don't really get a lot in rap, because, rap, you're not required to scream in rap, but it's nice when someone throws something new into the mix, so yeah. I just think pretty good album, this, B. But now we get to my final album. An album that if I'm being honest, I was considering putting this episode off, but I have to talk about this album. Talla with Matrifuji. This album also came out in October, and it's the only A+ on this episode of Catch Up Chaos, right? However, I'm going to warn anyone who is tempted to listen to this album to be aware that it is a concept album. It's their debut full-length, following up an EP titled No One Should Read This, which came out back in 2018, I believe. And the album is a concept album about someone who is pushed to the brink of insanity by his mentally and, well, by his physically ill mother, who is extremely abusive towards him. And it's a downward spiral of insanity, and, like, the music makes you feel that brutality in your head. Like, there are some horrific events that happen in this album that I do not want to talk about. In fact, I'm not even going to show the album cover for this one, because the album cover itself is very disturbing, and I don't want to risk triggering anybody with it. I know no one really watches these videos, and I'm surprised I managed to do a more recent episode of Catch Up Chaos or Music of the Month that showed that weird one with the bugs and the fetuses. But that was drawn. This one is not. This one is like a I was gonna say photograph. It's like a set up shot of sorts, which is not a pun because there is no gunshot wounds, but there is blood and a lot of disturbing notes, and you could see a woman's body in a wheelchair, and you could see a creepy bunny named Lobifu, who is one of the characters in the album. So if you are going to listen to Matrophagy, be aware of that fact. I do recommend looking up the lyrics if you really want to delve into the mindset that was put into this album, and I have to give credit to Justin Bonnet, and you know, he's a phenomenal singer. Like, for me, he's a bit like this generation's Chester Bennington, and that is not a bad thing to say, because I loved Chester, I love Justin, I think he's great, and I hope this project carries on a bit longer. But yeah, if you are going to listen to this album, keep that in mind. Okay, it's a concept album, it is grisly, it's disgusting, it's messy, it's heavy, it's dark, it's brutal, and it's also... I was going to say in a roundabout way, sort of fun, but there's really nothing fun about it. I get the same feeling listening to this album that I do playing Spec Ops: The Line, you know? Like, yeah, I get what the point is, but it's, you know, I want to enjoy it. And I do enjoy this album, much like I enjoy Spec Ops, but not for the reasons I would normally enjoy something, you know? I feel this album could genuinely be in my top 10, because I've had more time to dwell on it recently, and I just cycle through so many thoughts in my head about this album. I know I've talked about this for like about 2 minutes straight now, so maybe you should just ignore my non-recommendation. Maybe you should listen to it for yourself, but it's not going to be easy to sit through. Trust me. Anyway, after a very disappointing and sad closing review, well, I was going to say disappointing, it was a really good album, but yeah, that'll about do it for this episode. I don't know what will be next exactly. It could possibly be for the night review, it could be maybe a very brief history of the Distillers, or something related to that, if I can get that done. The next thing you'll definitely see before is the Fight Night review, and hopefully not long after that on Tuesday, PBW versus AVW. So that is the immediate plan. But yeah, if there's any of these albums that tickle you particularly fancy, then feel free to listen to them or don't. You know, I'm not in control of your thoughts. That's on you, man. That's on you. So, Nervous Laughter. Try not to think too much about Tyler's new album, even though it's really good. I will see you all for the next video, whatever the hell that will be. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye-bye.